My name is Peter Moya. I'm an early childhood education major at Temple University. My freshman year, right away I knew I wanted to study abroad. I come from France. I grew up in France, and so coming to America was already like studying abroad, and I enjoyed that so much I knew I wanted to do it again. It's good sometimes to know ahead of time that you want to study abroad. Um, I was able to save up some gen eds and do it that way. And then I took an internship while I was there, but it's true that they didn't offer any education courses. You just have to be ready for the whole process that it's going to take and be motivated.
My name is Katie Martinsik. I'm a risk management major, MIS minor. When I applied to Temple, I knew about the programs in Rome and in Spain and in Japan, and I knew I didn't want to go to Spain or Rome, so it was actually a pretty big reason why I chose to come to Temple in the first place, because I knew I wanted to get over there eventually. I took all gen eds. Like I said, I knew I was going to study abroad. I had been saving up classes so that I could study abroad. So I took all science and technology gen ed, race and diversity gen ed. They have a whole bunch because they know that study abroad kids are going to want to do that.
My name is Mariko Nagai. I'm associate professor and I'm also study abroad academic coordinator and a director of research. During the first 2 weeks, students come to me to talk about courses they want to add and drop. So I sign off on that. I make sure they have permission from their home institution advisor.
I thought it was very organized, very polite, semi-robotic, but also an ancient culture, so I obviously had very little understanding of that as like an American. That was like one of the coolest things about going to somewhere so old. I think that's kind of difficult to grasp.
My mom had been in Japan actually when she was younger, so I had some ideas from that, and then just ideas, from movies and TV shows and books and whatnot. But I guess I had a very vague idea of what Japan was. When I got there, I was ready for it to be different from what I expected, and it was. It was completely different, and I enjoyed things that I didn't expect to enjoy, and I didn't see things that I expected to see, but it was a great experience.
I didn't spend as much time studying as I normally would. I knew I didn't want to spend all my time in the library when I was in Tokyo.
Going into this, I knew that I was coming to Tokyo not to go to school here, but to be in Tokyo, to live in Tokyo, to meet people, to do things that I'm not used to explore a new culture. So obviously, school was part of the reason. School was more the vehicle for me to be there. And the fact I was taking gen eds was nice because it didn't have that same I'm sorry. It didn't have that same pressure.
I think, and I tell that I shouldn't make it public, but I always tell my students, don't take 5 classes, take 4 classes. You're only in Japan once in your lifetime. If you come back, great, but you only have 3 or 4 months to explore Japan, so why end up being stuck in a classroom? Why not just go around and explore Japan as part of study abroad experience? So, work-life balance.
At first, clearly, you don't feel comfortable. You're outside your comfort zone in a country that you don't know, with the culture that you don't understand, with the language you don't understand. But as time goes on, you grow comfortable to that environment, and you find your place, even though it's not as a Japanese person, you find your place as an American. The fact that I didn't speak the language was difficult at times. Obviously, you can't communicate with people, so there's always that struggle of trying to be understood or trying to understand the situation and the frustration when you don't. But I think at the same time that was a blessing because I was able to go into some situations without really understanding what I was getting into and being able to enjoy that nonetheless.
People generally are very polite, and they want to help you, and they want to help you speak their language and get around, and it's not really challenging in that like it would be in a lot of places. I remember hearing a lot about, or learning a lot about in general, like two big kinds of cultures in this world, and that is like individualism versus collectivism, like Eastern versus Western ways of thinking. And I think that is so prevalent in everyday Japanese, in society, in your social life, in like just standing in line of the train. You are always, it is not about you, it is about everyone else, and being considerate and being polite and not trying to impose on anyone.
It's interesting getting off the plane, you're kind of in shock, you're like, I'm here now, it's kind of weird to think of yourself like you've been preparing for this for so long and then you finally get there, and it's just a kind of a surreal experience. But eventually, as everything started to come together and I got on a train and got to where I belonged. Um, just a big feeling of excitement too at like the 4 months that are ahead.
I was pretty nervous about it for like a month leading up to when I was going, but you really just have, once you get there and you start to understand, like, you are a foreigner, not everything is expected of you to understand and to speak how they do. So you kind of just like take a deep breath once you realize that like they don't expect you to get it, and as long as you can go along with it in an attitude that is like respectful and polite, like, you will be okay. The adjustment, of course, you're gonna get frustrated when like nothing's in English, you can't find anyone who speaks English, and you need to get somewhere in 10 minutes. Like, of course, that is frustrating, but like, it's just, you just have to accept that it's part of it. It's part of being on the other side of the world.
One of the words that I think about when I think about TUJ students is their individuality. I think they're not afraid to be. I mean, I think university is all about sort of searching who you are, what you want to study, what you want to become, and I think students aren't afraid to take risks here, and that's part of being an individual. That's part of being unique.
It's going to be a growing experience for sure. I mean, any time that you're outside your comfort zone, you're going to learn so much and about yourself, about others, about your own culture too. Find a program where you can meet people, where you're going to be able to find people that you can explore with. If that means Temple, Japan, and that's great. If it's another program, that's good too. Just find somewhere where you can find someone to explore with and to connect with. Someone, and they don't have to be necessarily from exactly the same culture as you are, but you need to be able to find someone to share the experience with.
Plan early, both for financially, because it is Tokyo, and for your academics. Like, if you can't take classes over there, that really limits you. If you have to take classes that aren't in your major, that really limits you. But just go. It's gonna be like, it's not as difficult as you think it's gonna be. Like, you're gonna hype it up and prep for so long, but once you actually get there, you realize that it's not as intense as you feared it might be, and you can handle it.
My name is Peter Moyer. My name is Peter Moyer. I'm an early childhood education major at Temple.
Can we go back to that one?